All right. Again, we're talking about moments of truth and motivating teams. Let me go back. Before I show that screen, which I showed really quickly, does anybody have a definition? It's not a pass or fail, but does anybody know what moments of truth is? I'll have a couple of people share their thoughts. And you can chat it or you can unmute and tell me what you think it is.
Kathy, this is Robert Nolan.
Yes.
In my opinion, it's an opportunity for the club to take an introspective look at the things they do well and the things that maybe they can improve on to enhance the quality of their meetings and the experience for their members and for potential members as well.
So he's talking about when you do a moment of truth presentation for your club, which you should definitely do. And we'll be talking about that in just a little bit. Does anybody have just a definition of what is a moment of truth? Unless you've been on these TLIs before, because you already know the answer. Anybody putting anything in the chat, Jason?
Let's see, not for specific what a moment of truth is, but of course, moments of truth are self-evaluations for clubs. Absolutely. A module that is used as a tool for self-evaluation. Okay, I can get behind that.
And it's part of the Successful Club series.
Yes.
It outlines how to create a positive first impression and all that.
Okay.
How to deal with situations and so forth.
Anybody else? Going once, going twice. Okay, this is the Toastmasters definition for moments of truth, which I really like a lot. A moment of truth is a point in time in which a potential member comes in contact with any aspect of the Toastmasters experience and forms an immediate impression of a club's quality and service. So who can give me an example of what they're talking about in this definition? Somebody who has not spoken yet. I'm like an old school teacher. Because I really am one, I'll call on people if I don't start hearing.
If I may.
Certainly. Who have we got?
I'm sorry?
Who's speaking?
This is Elliot Cardenas. I am the Sergeant at Arms for Austin Pride Toastmasters.
Awesome.
We use moments of truth a lot in the hospitality industry, as we can prepare a service as much as we want, but when it comes time for execution, it's important to make sure that we have our game in order, that we know what we're doing, so that way the guest gets the best impression of the hotel or whatever experience they're experiencing, and that reinforces their idea and their opinion about the service.
Good. Excellent. Can somebody give me an example of something that has happened or you want to have happen, good or bad, in your club that would be an example of a moment of truth? Anybody got some ideas?
Yeah,
Hi, Kathy.
That is welcome. Oh, sorry, Nathan, go ahead.
No, it's fine. Hi, Kathy. This is Nathan McGinnis from Speakeasy Today.
Good to hear from you, Nathan.
You as well. So my example is today we actually had somebody reach out through Facebook, because we have our Facebook page, and sent a message asking us when our next one is, and I tried to get back to them as quickly as possible, because in my opinion that's a moment of truth for a potential guest. This isn't even a guest yet, who is going to make a decision. If we never get back, or it takes us a long time to get back, they're going to say, oh, they don't care, and move on to somebody else, or give up on Toastmasters altogether. So for me, that's a moment of truth.
That is exactly right. And that is an excellent example. And Toastmasters has sent reports out once a quarter where leads go to different clubs And what they've told us is that 60% of those emails do not even get responded to. So that is an example of a moment of truth that went south, a negative experience. You definitely don't want to have that happen with your club. Good answers, everybody. So this is like the quick overview for moments of truth. They come in 6 categories. And over to the right, I'm really into mnemonics. So there you go. There's your little, you can write out a crazy sentence that helps you remember if you would like. But it's first impressions, membership orientation, fellowship, variety, and communication, program planning and meeting organization, membership strength, and achievement recognition. I will tell you that I got an email from our news guy, our news magazine editor, Harlan Blumenthal, a couple of days ago, and he asked me to name some clubs that I felt exemplified these 6 categories. So some of you may have already heard from Harlan because a lot of clubs that I recommended were on the list. I know that Gavel Masters and Ostentatious do a great job of fellowship. Actually, those 2 clubs do a great job in several categories, but that's really important if you're trying to build your membership and keep it strong. Achievement recognition is also another big one. Does anybody have a preference? Not the people that have been on the call with me before, because they know what I'm going to say. Anybody who has not been through the TLI before, which one do you think is the most important?
Kathy, your volume went down again.
Yeah, hi. Great to see everyone. Sorry for my being later. Thank you. Thank
No
you.
worries. Kathy's just adjusting her volume for her Zoom.
Are we allowed to answer her question?
Stop sharing for a minute.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question that she was asking.
She was asking which one do we think is the most important
Sure.
on the list. This is Janice Smith from Fredericksburg Toastmasters, first year officer, first year in club, actually.
Sure.
But anyway, I think they're pretty much in order, the list she gave. I would say that that's kind of the order that of importance. I think that's a pretty good order.
Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yeah, Kathy, it sounds like you're far away. I think your machine switched its microphone again for you.
I just checked it and it didn't. It says same as system.
Okay.
Any other thoughts?
Because it looks like you're pretty soft coming in. I can barely hear you. But thank you, Janice. I appreciate that. Any other ideas of which one is the most important?
Hi, this is Joseph from Metro.
Sure,
and
Joseph.
Actually, I've been Sergeant of Arms for several years in the club there. And I know without a doubt, first impressions, when we do have visitors for the first time and they leave their impressions at the end of the meeting, they really appreciate them being greeted and, you know, get some slight orientation, like handing them an agenda. And they really do appreciate that. It makes them feel, you know, right away a part of the meeting. So once again, the first one is vitally important. That first impression really leaves an impact on them.
That makes absolute sense because, as they say, you can't really redo a first impression. But I also think the others are important too. Sorry, Kathy, we still can't hear you. Because every part of the moments of truth go into how your club is actually meeting the needs of your members and of those future guests as they come in. Kim, that's a good point. Kim put in the chat room, first impressions have gotten a lot harder with virtual meetings, especially for new members.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you are now back online, Kathy.
Okay, so what Christine is saying is to select mic on Zoom. I don't have that option. Unless you're telling me to go into my Zoom settings. I have 4 other settings. We've been working with this very sporadic issue off and on, and we thought we had it fixed yesterday. Kind of like electronics on a car.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, usually once it starts up again, it's good for the rest of the time. Everybody cross your fingers.
So yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Kim. Impressions are a lot harder in virtual meetings because you can't really feel the person who you're standing with or meeting for the first time. People gain a lot of information from things other than just talking to people. Finding time to talk with the members outside the meetings and sharing more with them. Absolutely. Fellowship, both for for some of the best Toastmasters Club, happens not just at the meeting, it happens outside the meeting as well.
Okay, are we good with the screen again?
We are good. Take it away, Kathy.
Excellent. So thanks for just picking up where I left off, Jason. We've worked so long together, we can pretty much finish each other's sentences. First impressions is the one I do believe is the most important, because why? What answers? What's that famous saying about first impressions?
You only get a chance to make one of them.
That's right. You only get one chance to make a first impression. And if it goes sour, then it's really hard to recoup. Excellent. So let's look at in a little bit more detail in the specific moments of truth. We talked about first impressions, and that's making your guests feel welcome. There will be some more particulars. I'll go into more depth as we get into this. Membership orientation is making sure that your members are mentored and that they get up to speed quickly. And that's been a challenge for us, meeting online versus live. Maybe it's easier for your club. We'd love to hear that if that's the case. We mentioned fellowship earlier, getting together outside the club, having parties, having fun. Now that's kind of difficult now, but we actually have several clubs that get together online and do social events, online happy hour, virtual happy hour. There's all kinds of things you can do, and that encourages a quality club meeting. Then the last 3 are meeting organization. That's part of program planning. We have a lot of resources available on the tmd55.org website in the resource library. One of my absolute favorite classes that we had, a bunch of us got together and shared different ideas of how to make a meeting fun. We had a lot of games. There were all kinds of things that were brought up in this meeting, and it's recorded. You can go to the resource library and actually watch that presentation. It's a lot of fun. Let's take a minute and just get some ideas out, whether in the chat or speaking out loud. Things that the most fun thing that you've done in one of your clubs. Who's got an idea to share?
Go ahead, Nathan.
I was waiting for somebody else. I didn't want to be the
Hey,
taking all
You
the
gotta
time.
start it somewhere.
Kathy, this is Richard Kleckar with Aim High.
Hey.
And a couple of things we did was during the Halloween week, we all wore masks That was fun, a lot of fun. And
Yep.
then during the Christmas holiday, of course, we all did the same thing, wearing something with a Christmas theme. So I can honestly say those were really fun moments in the club meetings. And I would probably guess the guests themselves probably got a kick out of it. So I just wanted to chime in with some of the fun things we're doing at Aim High.
Absolutely. And how's your membership in your club, Richard?
It's steady, and we're currently working on a strategic plan to certainly increase it. It's just been real challenging with, I'm sure we're not alone, with COVID. It's been really challenging, to increase membership, but we've done a few things like we put up a meetup page, aside from the Facebook, usual Facebook, the free stuff. We actually pitched in and purchased a membership to Meetup and have actually had a lot of new guests that have responded and attended by finding our club on Meetup.
Excellent. And don't you guys do Speechcraft at Aim High?
Been there about 2 years and it doesn't ring a bell.
I might be thinking of another club.
I'll check with John. I'm sure he probably knows.
Okay. Nathan, you said you had something you wanted to share?
Yeah, I saw somebody else also put it in the chat, but we had a backwards meeting once or a couple times. That was exciting, just doing it backwards. But one of my favorite things is the wheel of names, especially since we're digital.
Yep.
Put everybody's name on there, and you don't have a choice with the table topics. You're going to go if your name comes up.
Yep. And that is on that programming class that I told you about that's on the resource library. You will see how to do that. I think Bart was the one that talked about it. Was anybody on our live streaming Christmas party? I know Betty was because she won a prize. Anybody else? That was a lot of fun. We have a young member in Aqua Vitae in Corpus Christi who's done a lot of online live streaming concerts, and I volunteered him to do that class for us. So we had a little presentation at the beginning how to do it, and then we just opened it up and had a party. It was so much fun. That one is also recorded on the resource library. I see that there's a lot of things in chat. What you got for me, Jason?
I've got lots of things here in chat for you, Kathy. We had the backwards meeting, mystery night at Toastmasters. Sounds like fun.
That was mine.
That sounds interesting.
That was good.
Yeah.
The Dr. Seuss themed meeting. I could get behind that. Storytelling, where everybody's asked to pitch in. Basically, you'll stop at a certain point and someone else will pick up the story.
Yep.
Let's see. A D&D themed meeting night was some of the best table topic stories in that meeting. Okay. Round robin storyboarding. That's pretty much covered that one. Halloween themed meeting. Happy hour with the San Antonio Public Club. We are slick talkers. Happy hour, you can't beat that.
Excellent. Well, we're going to save all of these that are in the chat so we will be able to share them with the video.
So, Kathy, I do have a couple questions.
Okay.
One of them was, can you explain the Wheel of Names?
You know it better than I do, don't you?
Well, that's true. So there's a website out there. I believe is it wheelofnames.com? We can find the website name. But basically what it does is you enter a bunch of text, whether it's names or table topics, it doesn't really matter. It'll take it. And it puts it all on a wheel, and then you spin the wheel and it randomly picks one of the things you put on there. So it's kind of like Wheel of Fortune. Another question that we had was, can someone explain what a backwards meeting is? Well, a backwards meeting is where you start the meeting at the end and work your way forward. So usually toward the end of the Toastmasters meeting, we have the evaluations of the prepared speakers. So the evaluators give their evaluation of the speakers before they've heard the speech. And the idea for the speakers is to include the parts of the evaluation from the evaluators.
And Margaret Cathy presented that portion of our fun programming ideas. And we had about 4 other ideas that were on there as well.
Mhm.
So I highly recommend going and watching that video when you've got some time, because it's just a lot of fun. Anything else we need to answer before we go on to membership strength?
Well, another
Yeah.
good thing to consider too would be, I see in here a grab bag meeting, whereas people come in, they pick a role.
Yep, that's a good idea.
Mhm.
I think somebody was trying to speak up.
Yeah, Kathy, this is Richard again. You mentioned a video. Where can I find that video? It was on, I think, Backward Meetings.
If you
I
go
think-
to tmd55.org, and somebody can put it in the chat, that
That'd be great.
get
It
to
sounds very enticing.
click on the thing that says, the graphic that says resource library. You'll see all the resources, all the videos that we have available right now. We have lots of different topics, contest training, different
can't
kinds
hear
of
you.
skills. Go ahead.
Kathy, we can't hear you.
I can hear Kathy.
I can, yeah.
I hear you fine.
Fine. Normally, even when I whisper,
I
people
can hear
hear
her.
me.
Yeah, we're good.
Excellent. So go to the training tab, and that's where you'll see the resource library and continuing education. Continuing education is the links to the live presentations like this one. We have something called Training Tuesday, and a lot of people on this call have been to some of those classes where we teach different things. Second Tuesday is strictly for beginners. I mean, you can go if you want to, but it is to help people who are new Toastmasters with different topics, like selecting a topic. Then we have
Art,
leaders.
can you hear her?
Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah, they're saying yes.
Yes.
Well, we can hear you now, but you were muted for a
They're shaking their head, so you might need to check your volume on yours, okay?
Yeah.
All right. I forgot where I was now. Having a senior moment.
Could you just repeat the information you just shared about new members? That would be very helpful.
The second Tuesday of every month, we have what we call 101 training. It is, the first hour will be on simple topics for new members, like choosing a topic, learning to do table topics. There's, I think, 4 different ideas. And the first hour will be the class, and Peggy Pleasant teaches it. She's very pleasant as an instructor. And then the second hour is a workshop with Bart Lozier, who is our main professional trainer here in the district. And he actually works with you to practice doing those things. And I've had quite a few new Toastmasters tell me they really got a lot out of it. So that's something to highly recommend to new members as value added for them. The first week will be leadership training. Last week, Melody and Liv and I did a class for new club officers, and it was really great. They asked great questions. We recorded that one. It's on the library, but we'll be doing it again next month. The third week is where you'll get new skills, like how to do PowerPoint or social media. Those are the really popular classes that can really help you grow your membership. Our social media people are excellent. Lily Smith is the one that teaches those classes, and she does a great job. Now, Any other questions about the training? We're going to move on, if not, to membership strength. And who can tell me why 20 is the magic number? Desi Mora, I know you know the answer.
I mean, it's 20 because that is an amount that you need to have lively, healthy meetings, especially considering that sometimes not all 20 people are going to be there. If you
Right.
have 20 members, then maybe you'll have 14 people at a meeting. If you have 14 people, you might only have meetings with 6 or 7, and that's not really enough.
Excellent. Anybody else got another idea?
This is Richard, Kathy. I was going to add that response from Ann makes total sense because I've had to double up on some of the roles. We all have in Aim High because there aren't as many people attending virtually. I mean, we make the meetings work, but we all have to pitch in and sometimes double up.
Excellent. And not only people not showing up for the meetings, my corporate club that I belong to, we have 19 members right now, but we're so busy at work because we launched a new product that more than half of the people are not showing up right now. But the other issue is attrition. So that's people that leave your club. And it might not be because they want to, they may move away. Of course, it's not really going to matter to us right now with online meetings, but when we had physically live meetings, they can't come back to Austin if they move to Dallas or to California. So that's another issue, is dealing with attrition. So the goal, it doesn't mean you have to stop at 20. We've got clubs in this district that have had more than 50. It just means that you want to try to shoot for that number. Any questions about membership or additional comments? That one's pretty self-explanatory. And for me, membership strength is really the second most important. That's just my opinion, because and you can justify any of these, but if you don't have enough members to keep things going, you're going to start to see things dwindle. It is a lot easier to add new members when you have a lot of members than when you have 4 or 5. So that's a big point in my opinion. The last moment of truth, certainly not the least, is achievement recognition. And that's making sure that your members get recognized, not only for what they are doing in Toastmasters, but for what they're doing outside the club. Does anybody want to share how they recognize their members in their club? Somebody who has not spoken yet. And I see Miss Yvonne Sung from Taipei, Taiwan. Yvonne, can you unmute yourself and share with us how you recognize members at your club in Taipei? It's morning time tomorrow where she is.
Yeah, thank you, Casey. The 2 points. The first, after the member completed their pathways, the first, the Basecamp manager have to log into the Basecamp manager and recognize the member already accomplished their pathway. And the second point, the VP or presenter, you must do the other crucial point. You have to go to the Club Central to send the recognition to the TI and give them the accomplishment award. So that is the 2 crucial procedure. It must be done, or otherwise the TI couldn't give the credit for your members' recognition. Thank you.
That's correct. She's talking about pathways. and you give them the credit as base camp manager, but then you also have to submit to TI or they're not going to get that credit. Does anybody have anything they want to share about how you recognize your members, especially in an online environment? Does anybody do anything interesting?
This is Joseph again from Metro.
Yeah, Joseph.
Yes. At one point, as you well know, Phyllis Allen over here in the Valley is she's still very much with us, and she founded all these clubs in Fard and in McAllen and in Edinburgh at one time. It was a one-time active. But what I did during one of my speeches for Pathways is I incorporated a Johnny Appleseed theme and gave recognition to Phyllis as the Johnny Appleseed of Toastmasters.
That's right.
She really did appreciate it. She really enjoyed the tie-in. And we're always recognizing Phyllis of all the efforts that she's given through the years. And of course, when it was in person, sometimes if it was a birthday or something, we recognize it with a cake or something. But she's always a special member for us here in the Valley, and we try to recognize her in some of those different ways.
Does everybody know how to use your signals to show agreement? What word am I looking for? Like the thumbs up? How many people have done when we used to meet live birthday parties for their members? Or
what, a reaction?
Yes, the reaction button. I see Tina put her thumb up. Good, excellent. Great. So those are the 6. Now we're going to go just into a bit of detail on each one. Of course, first impressions, greeting your guests when they come in. How is it different now being online versus live? Who greets the guests and how does that work? Somebody want to share in their club how that works? We're not using guest books and name tags, not physical ones anyway.
Hi, this is Richard Guerrero with Universal City Toastmasters.
Hey, Richard.
We open our club. We open the door to our club meeting. Our meeting starts at 6:30. We open at 6:10. We can chit chat, and if you have a question, you're going to have a speech, or you have a question about how to do something, that's the time to do it. If you don't know how to do it, and everybody gets some camaraderie.
That's excellent. And what we have found is that the clubs that do that, they either open the door early and sit and visit and answer questions, or just, cut up and have fun, or they do it after the meeting. Those are the most successful clubs. So if you're not currently allowing any social time, you might want to think about doing that. Jason, is there anything we need to share from the chat?
In Maynard, we do the same thing. We open early and we also sometimes stay late. And it's a time where the later is usually for some questions or extraneous information about TM.
Yep.
But before, it's just kind of getting to know people. Who are you? Where are you from? How'd you hear about us? What are your interests? That kind of thing.
Excellent.
Yeah, a lot of what I've seen is the chat is if the guests can come in early, let's chat and find out how we can best help them, what they're expecting to get out of Toastmasters, and how can our club help them succeed.
Exactly. I'll give you a great example. And we do have a secret weapon in my club, and Jason actually has it in 2 of his clubs that I know of. It's called Betty Puckett. She is our treasurer at Top Notch Trainers. It's an advanced club for people who want to practice longer presentations. I invited a young man from Corpus. His name, he's actually from Kingsville, but that's 30 miles away. Alfredo Delgado, and he actually is a paid consultant, professional speaker with John Maxwell, but he's a brand new Toastmaster. So when he visited to practice, because he's getting ready to compete with our club in Corpus that I'm a member of, we started talking about what he does and just gave him, we do round robin evaluation in that club, so everybody gets to share information for the speaker. He was so blown away. He said, yeah, I want to join. So that's a way to do it. Find out what they need and make sure you give it to them. Are there any club members on the call? And I've heard it several times talking to people throughout the district. You get a lot of guests, but they don't sign up. Does anybody here have that issue? Does
We've,
any go
we've
ahead?
certainly had that issue with Club 8524 back when we had the live meetings where we met at the church. Sometimes we would have college kids, because we're in San Marcos. They would come and they would sit in, but they wouldn't sign in. And we would have to ask them at the end of the night if this was for a class, if they were getting class credits, or what the deal was.
And that's kind of a special circumstance. If you have that happening though, and it's not because it's college students, does anybody know how to fix that problem? Can anybody share it? Ask them to join. Usually when you have people that are attending, but they don't join, nobody has asked them to join. And I know sometimes Toastmasters think, I don't want to be pushy. You don't have to be pushy. It's more about listening to them and finding out what is it that they're trying to get, because not everybody that goes to Toastmasters is there because they want to become professional speakers. Some people want the social aspect. Some people want the leadership aspect. You just really have to listen and find out what it is they're looking for, and then explain to them how your club can help them get what they want. The other great way to do that is with membership surveys. And we'll talk about that in a minute. In fact, right here, it's called membership orientation. And this is about surveying your members at least once a year. I recommend twice a year, to find out exactly what it is that your members are trying to get out of their club experience, because it may change from time to time. What they're getting from it right now might not be what they need 6 months from now, because they may have already gotten it from your club. So it really depends on the person. Does everybody use membership surveys in your club? Max shaking his head no. How about mentors? Let's see some thumbs up. How many of you assign mentors to your new club members? Good. That's good, Mac. Good, Desi.
Yeah, we do that.
Good. Excellent. And I don't know that it comes up real often, but there is something that you need to be aware of if you have members with disabilities. Now, right now, we're at home, so they're meeting online, but they do need to be able to access your meeting. So that's something to think about as well. And one of the things that I'm kind of known for, and I highly recommend, is when you get a new member, and I think there are several people in this call that do the same thing. When you get a new member and you find out what they're interested in, some are really good marketing people, some want to practice public speaking, some are kind of quiet and shy. Get them involved doing things in the meeting. It might be I'll counter. That may be where they start. It might be timer, whatever it is, but get them comfortable little by little so that they can build up their confidence, because that's what the club is all about. Anybody want to share anything on membership orientation? We do have a few clubs in this district that do an excellent job of orienting new members.
I just like to put a plug that you also want to get them on Pathways as quickly as possible.
That is correct. And tell me why that is.
That's what they signed up for. That's where their curriculum is. That's where everything is there. That's where you know where your growth is and stuff like that. And it helps us help them reach their goals.
Yep. And answering questions about pathways. In my club, I frequently do, I have like a little PowerPoint set up. I've actually done probably 4 or 5 revisions of it over time as Pathways has changed. But there's little classes, like a 10-minute speech on how to get started in Pathways. We actually have done that as a speech in the meeting and use one new member as an example and walk through how we got them set up. I also highly recommend working with your members one-on-one to get them on Pathways. That's how I had to start, because even though I have lots of computer experience, the little idiosyncrasies with Pathways had me flummoxed. And so I had to get on a call with Lorraine Boyd, and then she said, now click on this. And that's when it finally clicked. You may have people like that. Now, younger people, a lot of times they have no trouble, but it just really varies by the person. Jason, is there anything we need to go over in chat?
Right now, I think we're good.
Okay.
We have of course how we recognize members with special things that come up for them, like birthday cake and confetti, memberships for membership packages.
Interesting.
A lot of talk about the member survey.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of those things that a lot of clubs use them, but maybe more clubs can use them better.
And at one point in one
do a
meeting,
member survey.
we were talking about getting it set up to where it was fillable online. And several people have mentioned to me before, we don't use it in our clubs, but Easy Speak has a survey already built into Easy Speak. Is anybody using that survey tool? This one is like a paper copy that I think maybe they have it set up now to be fillable. It looks like it might be, but I just made this copy for the page. They're really important. That's one great way to find out what your members are looking for. I actually remember one time a couple of years ago, we did the surveys and then I did a presentation on it, like a research presentation. 45% of the people wanted to become better speakers, more confident. We had like 20% that had English as a second language and they wanted to improve their English speaking skills. So you don't know unless you ask. And I remember last year when we were sending out emails, Gene Ramsey and I, to people who had left Toastmasters, we got one heartbreaking email from someone, and sad to say it was in Austin, but it could have been anywhere. She went to a club. She enjoyed hearing people. It was a big club, lots of members, and she enjoyed it, but they never even noticed she was there. Nobody ever asked her any questions. Nobody said hi to her. And English was a second language for her. And she was really wanting a club that would help her with her English speaking skills. Nobody offered, so she left. Don't let that be your club. If you show value added to your attendees, they will join and they will stay. All right, the fun part. Fellowship, variety, and communication. You would think a communications organization would not have to tell people to be sure to communicate with its members, but we do. and it's different right now, but how many of you are using a club newsletter or a club website to share information with your membership? Let's see some thumbs up. I can only see a few of you at a time, so I got to scroll through. Good, Elizabeth. I'm not seeing that many thumbs up.
Well, there's a few out there.
You're
got Bill
probably
and
seeing-
Carla, Christian, Desi.
Excellent.
Nathan.
We talked about social events already. This is also included in fellowship. This is one of the things that I'm notorious for, getting people to participate in stuff outside the club, area, district, and international events. And really, when people start to get involved outside their own club, for me, that's when the magic begins. Because I've had people tell me, oh my God, it's like a whole new world out there that I didn't even know existed. Last year, I actually got to go, not last year, I guess it was it last year? Yeah. When we went to Denver, that was my very first international conference. It was amazing to meet people. I have friends in South Africa now and Australia and all over the planet, because we're worldwide. So you get to meet the neatest people, and the presentations are amazing. The more you get involved outside your own club, the more ideas you have to bring back to your club to help keep it strong. Anybody got anything they want to share about participating? And I also want to take a minute to make sure everybody knows about our volunteer engagement system that we just put in. They announced it in the last newsletter, I think. Ryan O'Connor is the chair for that. You can log in, set up a profile, tell what things you're interested in being involved in, or what things you've already done. And the goal will be to give volunteers prizes for their volunteer efforts. We're just getting going, so it's still in the baby stages, but that's the plan. So we will be able to give back to people that help the district and help. You might serve in an area contest, you might help with the conference, whatever it is. There's tasks, opportunities that you can get involved in. But the first thing is to set up your profile on the system. So feel free to email me if you're not sure where to get that, because I'll put you in touch with Ryan. If you already know Ryan O'Connor and know his email, you can go directly to him and he can help you get set up. Any more ideas or suggestions for fellowship, variety, and communication? Somebody tell me the most fun social event you ever were involved in with Toastmasters.
Can I share?
Yes.
Yes, here, we sometimes hold the outing. I think here outing is the most fun and interesting to enhance the members, increase the relationship. Even in the outing, we also holding the regular meeting. It's much fun because members or guests or their family enjoy the outing, holding the regular meeting. It seems very interesting and increase our relationship. And the other point I want to share is for the new member or guest, even the guest, we can arrange the mentor for them. Because some of the member or guests, actually, they are not very familiar with the what is Toastmaster, especially for the pathway,
right?
A lot of the procedure for them, for the new one. Actually, we have to arrange mental, help them, person by person. It's helpful. It's helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne. Anybody else got anything they want to share? Lauren Peters, you are a member of BNP Toastmasters, my very first Toastmasters club. You guys been around for over 60 years. I know you've seen some fun events in your time.
I have. Some of the fun ones, of course, the most fun ones we've had have been our Christmas parties.
Yep.
And our spring, summer parties. They're in-person events, unfortunately.
Yep.
We can't do that now, but we did this past Christmas have an online Christmas party, a Zoom Christmas party.
How did it go?
It went well. We had some winners of prizes. We all enjoyed each other's company on screen. I want to go back and talk about or ask about something else.
Sure.
Does the district sponsor a speakers bureau? And the reason
yes. As a matter of fact, we were on a call yesterday with top-notch trainers, and that's how we got our speakers bureau chair. She joined our top-notch trainers, and she was on telling people, please let me know if you're interested in the speakers bureau. Her name is Lisa Troggett. She's a fairly new Toastmaster, 2 years, but she's dynamite. We say at TNT that our club is dynamite, but she's also a member of Arthur Storer, which is Lark Doley's club. And they did auditions, and what they're doing, because that's not under me, so I didn't really know a whole lot about what they do this year, because it can be set up different ways, different years. But they are finding out like what your interests are, what you're trying to do, and helping you get a foot in the door, teaching at different companies or different Toastmasters clubs. So I'll have to do it later. Lisa Troggett is our speech bureau chair, but if you go to the district website and look under it says, not the executive leaders, but the next level, it's got all the chairs, and she's on Liv's team, and you'll see her picture. Her email is Lisa, I think it's lisa@she'slosingit.com, but if you go to she'slosingit.com, you'll see her website. She's a bodybuilder and a coach and written some books. She's a very interesting person. So yeah, we have a very active speakers bureau. Good question, Lauren.
The reason I bring it up is there are service clubs and other things in the city who are looking for speakers who have a passion for a particular topic.
Yep.
Almost any topic is interesting to the group. I'm part of a Rotary Club, which is always looking for speakers that fit that. And anyone who wants to have the opportunity to speak out in the community, if they tie in with one of these service clubs who has speakers almost every week or once a month or however often, there's a wide world out there that wants to listen to them.
And you may even get a Toastmaster member out of it, or members. You never know.
You may. We don't know. We don't know. But I know I could help line people up for speaking at our Rotary Club. Usually we give them about 20 to 30 minutes.
Yep.
To talk about whatever subject they're interested in, and pick a subject that will interest a wide variety of folks, because those service clubs have a wide variety of clubs. But
which Rotary Club are you in, Lauren?
Northwest.
Okay.
San Antonio Northwest.
Put your email in the chat if you don't mind, and if anybody's interested in speaking at the Rotary Club for Lauren, he'll get you hooked up.
Okay.
And usually there's other Toastmasters at a Rotary Club meeting, if they evaluate you, you can get speech credit or get somebody to record it and give it to somebody to evaluate.
No, and I do know that a number of the clubs, our club included, you don't have to come and show up on the day. You just have to make yourself available on Zoom because a lot of our speakers are working on Zoom.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing that, Lauren. Anybody else got anything on fellowship, variety, and communication? Okay, we're gonna move on to the next one. One of my favorite topics, which is pretty much what my job involves this year in Toastmasters, program planning and meeting organization. How many people are usually doing their agendas at the last minute before the meeting? I'm gonna have to raise my hand on that one. At least 2 of my clubs, that's how we do it. It's always, we may have an agenda, but then it changes at the last minute. Try to get people to sign up ahead of time if you can. I know it's difficult sometimes, but if you do that grab bag meeting where people are just going to come in, or you can do it with the wheel of names, if you have the club rolls on the wheel and you spin the wheel and you get Toastmaster, guess what? You're the Toastmaster of the day. So that's another way to avoid program planning. But guess what? If you get selected as speaker, make sure you got a speech ready, hip pocket speech. That's what I always told area directors. And when I was an area director, I remember going to HEB. I don't know if you were already in the club, Stephanie, when I did this. I don't remember, but I did a speech one day on giving an off-the-cuff speech, and I had them tell me an animal, a day of the week, and a color, and I made a speech up right there on the spot so I could show them how easy it was to do. And the longer you're in Toastmasters, the easier it gets to do that. I've seen Wilma Igwe do speeches that she came up with right there on the spot because the speaker didn't show up, and it sounded like she had been practicing for weeks. So it does get easier the more you do it. In your program planning, everybody should know by now, our only choice for educational achievement is pathways. So please make sure that all your members are enrolled. We have special prizes right now for clubs that have at least 95% enrollment across the board in their club. The place where we're struggling more is with new members. So try to get them signed up on Pathways. Somebody mentioned this earlier, as soon as you can. And with new members, they've never seen the old system. So what would they know about the difference? So try to get them signed up and get them going quickly. And the more they do it, the easier it gets. I don't know how the rest of you feel, but I'm working on 3 different paths. So I have that recording sheet. I don't think I can show it. I don't know that you'll be able to see it if I hold it up, but you can print it off of our website. And it's where you list each speech, when you did it, kind of like we did with the manuals. But if you're working on several paths, that to me, and in several clubs, that's really the only way to keep it straight. Does anybody have any other pathway tips while we're on this topic that they want to share? You guys are quiet tonight. What's
Kathy,
up?
Kathy, this is Connie Hoffman. Don't forget that right now until March, we have that free path from Toastmasters.
Great point, Connie.
It ends in March, so people need to sign up, even if you're going to bank it and use it later.
That's right. It's free. Great point. So thanks for mentioning that. Anybody else got any other tips they want to share? I really tried a lot of different ways. I'm a base camp manager myself, but to me, the easiest way to keep track of your speeches is still to have it on that paper copy. Now you can do it in a fillable format and do it online, but I'm old school and I like to have the paper in front of me. that's just what works for me. But make sure that you have that information. If you use Free Toast, when you sign up to do a speech, you can put that information right there in the description, what the path is, what the project is, and then describe what you're going to be doing, you know, the title, the timing, all of that good stuff. That makes it a lot easier for the Toastmaster.
Kathy, this is Robert Nolan. In my clubs, we're set up in Easy Speak, and it tracks it very nicely in there.
Yes, it does. Anybody else? Excellent. Membership strength. We talked about making sure you have 20 members, but sometimes it's unavoidable. People move, you know, they change jobs, they get too busy, they get promoted, and they just don't have time for Toastmasters. But the goal is to retain as many of your members as you can. And to me, that is really the sign of a healthy club. If they have members that have been members, like BNP. I know people that have been in that club. You've probably got people that have been in the club for 50 years, don't you, Lauren? And Louise?
Well, I've been there for 35 plus.
Thank you. He met his wife.
Ed
She's
Dilla
the area director at the Toastmaster meeting.
Yeah, Ed Dilla is our most senior member in terms of service.
Yep.
And I think he's been there for 50 years.
Yeah, over. Because most people think that it's Doug Kelly that's been around the longest, but it's not. It's Ed Dilla.
Yeah.
So, you know you got a strong club when they stay for decades. Somebody tell me an idea of a club program they've seen. It doesn't have to be at your own club, but it's okay if it is. That a program that was very exciting or fun or interesting. Who's got an idea to share with us? Jackie Hunt, are you trying to speak? No, you're not.
Hey, Kathy, I always like when there's a theme to the meeting. That always makes it a little more exciting.
Yep, I will share with you. I don't usually dress up in costumes, but Eva Carpenter's on this call. She was one of our area directors last year, and she did a superhero theme for our area contest, and we all dressed up as superheroes. Betty always calls me Nettie the Networker, so I dressed up as Nettie the Networker, but we had some really cool costumes. Mine was not, but that was fun, actually. And even though we're online, doesn't mean you can still do stuff like that. We had a decorating contest, decorate your Zoom room, for our Christmas program. And that was fun too, to see all the different rooms, backgrounds. Okay, last one on the list, achievement recognition. You see the DTM medal. This year we will be having our first ever virtual conference. It's totally free. So I hope most of you, all of you will attend. We have a really exciting lineup of speakers. Not all of them are Toastmasters, but they have a lot of things to share that Toastmasters would be interested in. And we'll play a lot of fun games like we're going to do tonight. And it's just an opportunity to attend a conference if you've never been to one. How many people on this call have never attended a district conference? Put your thumbs up. Because usually they're like $150 plus your hotel room. So this is an opportunity to see what it's all about. And I will tell you that the hard part of the meeting, where we do the business meeting and we elect next year's leaders, that's going to be handled separately on May the 1st. The actual conference this year is only going to be the fun stuff, the educational stuff, the district contest, award ceremonies, and we're going to have a virtual DTM ceremony, so that'll be fun. I hope all of you will be able to attend. You should be seeing some information on the website. We're in the business of putting it all together. I shared a sneak peek with my TNT club yesterday, but we're going to be putting it on the website so everybody can see it. So one of the things we did when we had live meetings was we had that progress chart that you could put on the wall. Now you kind of have to come up with ways to do progress virtually. Does anybody have any ideas? I know Jason Gavel Masters is really good about doing that kind of stuff. Do you have anything you want to share that you guys do to chart progress?
A lot of what we do at Gavel Masters, of course, is based around what the member wants to do and how quickly they want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But we also use our progression chart to help us build our distinguished club program plan to get that completed as well. When people think they're part of a plan that helps the club, they're more likely to go up and give the speech and keep moving forward. So the more people are involved, the more they're likely to stay, the more they're likely to participate.
Good. And if you're a fairly new officer, I see a lot of people on this call that have been officers a while, but if you're fairly new, we have a class that Jason, I think, does the best at teaching. It's about the DCP program, and you can watch it. It's recorded on our resource library. We got a lot of cool stuff on there. So that's another one of my favorites. Okay, we've gone through the moments of truth. I'm an old Tony Robbins fan. And Tony believes if you're going to do something, you need to do it right away to make change. So think about what you're doing now, what you need right now in your club. What can you do to retain members? What can you do to build membership? And come up with 3 ideas from what you've seen in this presentation that you can implement right away to help your club. Does anybody have one that they want to share just from what you've heard tonight? It can be a very small change too. It doesn't have to be big. Is there anything we need to look at from the chat, Jason?
Well, from our chat, we're going to send out member interest surveys, encourage folks to attend the conference and other meetings. Another round of membership surveys. Good plan. Another thing about membership surveys, I saw in the previous chat, you could probably get SurveyMonkey to do it for you as well.
Right. Excellent. And one of the tricks I learned just from having a small business, in addition to working for a large corporation, I also have a small business that I've had for 20 years. It really is beneficial, especially in LinkedIn, if you like to write, if you write articles that, like, for example, on your club website or on your club LinkedIn page, if you have short articles, kind of like blog posts on different topics related to presentation skills. Because think about it, if you're the Toastmaster, you're the expert. People in LinkedIn want to know how to be better communicators. And you can do a series of articles. We have them posted on our website at Medtronic. Williamson County is a good example. They have a great website with articles about speaking skills. That encourages people to check you out.
One thing I'd also like to add, Kathy, is you don't even have to start large. Start small. Get started. That's the hardest part, is getting out of the gate. A lot of people don't know where to start, or they overthink it.
Right.
Start with something small, build on that success to leverage your next success.
That's right. If you're good at video, Do some little 30-second video clips of your club members talking about what they love about Toastmasters. If you're good at writing, write some blog articles, start a blog on your website. Like Jason said, it doesn't have to be anything big, but continuity is what helps. And great pictures, photographs of club members having fun. That's really important as well. So make a plan. Sit down with your club officers. Choose at least 3 things from the list that you're going to work on. They could be 3 things that have to do with first impressions. It's totally up to you. But get your list together. Work with your team to make it happen. Any questions about this part? Because this is where you can really affect change in your club. If you do the moments of truth format, it's like a checklist. I've actually had meetings where we've had one presenter get up and talk about each moment of truth, and then have the club members raise their hand. How many think we're doing good on this moment of truth? How many think we're good at first impressions? And you go through the list and you have people share in a workshop format where they think the club needs work. And then you work on that. That is really effective. And it's actually really easy when you do it as a group. Does that make sense? Okay. Remember, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So that's what Moments of Truth is all about. Do we need a wake-up break? Does anybody need a bio break? Do we need to take about 2 minutes? How does everybody feel? Are you ready to keep going? What kind of time do we have, Jason?
It's 8:20 now.
8:20? Dang.
Yeah, we got a lot through. Moments of Truth is huge.
I get, well, and motivating teams doesn't take as long, which is good, because I had no idea I talked so long. I didn't even see the timer anywhere. My bad.
Oh, that's all right. So Kathy, let's go ahead and take 5 minutes.
Okay.
Give everybody a stretch break, have a chance to have them go get a cup of coffee.
What
or
time?
whatever their
It's
favorite
8:20 right
beverage
now.
of choice.
Yeah, so 8:25.
Yeah,
We'll come back and
8:25,
we'll do.
8:26.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm taking a bio break. I shall return. I'm looking through the chats now.
Okay.
Betty, you're leaving us? You're muted.
Yes, I'm going to an international contest. My
Oh,
friend
wow.
is, yeah, my friend from the Bahamas is the test speaker. So I have
Betty
to
is a world traveler.
That's one good thing about Zoom. We can go all over the world.
And you're doing it.
No, I love it.
I want to get in on that with you, Betty. I'd love to go just
Come on, Sandy.
worldwide.
Talking about membership and inviting everyone, I have to tell you, we was back and forth with the bank. And I said, they helped me. And so I thanked them for helping me. And I invited them to our club.
Betty invites everybody to meet the guy that fixed her door at her house. Hey, Harvey, glad to see you made it.
Yeah, I tell you what, I just want to apologize to everybody for my interruption. I couldn't hear you because, Kathy, because I had a glitch with my computer speakers.
Hey, so do I, so don't feel bad.
Yeah.
It's bad when you're the one that's supposed to be presenting the information, though.
Yeah. This is my first year as club president. I worked myself up from sergeant at arms.
Uh-huh. That's where they started me in BNP.
I tell you what, a couple years ago, our then president Art Millicom, he was asking people, what role do you want as an officer? And we got to sergeant at arms, and all of a sudden my hand sneaked its way up, and he's like, okay, you're sergeant at arms.
Back when the sergeant of arms had to set up the room, what does the sergeant of arms do now?
Now our sergeant at arms, she has it pretty easy. But when we start meeting in person again, I'm going to coach her a little bit.
Well, some clubs use the sergeant of arms as the Zoom master. My club does not. We actually have the sergeant of arms sometimes is like the chat master. But they kind of can create their own role right now.
Well, right now, our club president and secretary, Nick Hoover, he's the Zoom host. And sometimes when he has to go and do other things, he will let other people be the Zoom host.
Mm-hmm. Are we ready to get started again, Jason?
Sure.
All right. Because I know everybody's ready to play Jeopardy, so I'm going to Zoom, get how I did that? Zoom through the motivating teams because it's not nearly as much material anyway. Oh. Let me make sure I share it properly. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yep, you're good to go, Kathy.
Okay. How did I end up back at the beginning? That's not helpful. Okay, now we're going to start motivating teams. And keep in mind what we talked about with moments of truth and think about how you can use moments of truth to build a really strong, self-sustaining team. And that's the topic of this next section. Somebody tell me what makes a winning team. Think about the last time you were in a high-performing team. I am at my job at Medtronic. And what words would you use to describe a high-performing team? You can put them in the chat or you can unmute and just tell me.
Great communication.
Great communication. Absolutely. What else?
Solution-oriented.
Solution-oriented. Excellent.
Problem sharing.
Problem sharing. That's good. What else?
Group engagement.
Group engagement. What else?
Committed.
What was that?
Committed.
Committed. Those are great answers. And look how many you got right. Not that there's a yes or no wrong answer, but nobody mentioned trust, but we did have commitment, results oriented, accountability. This one is my favorite, healthy conflict. What does that mean to you? Somebody tell me what healthy conflict is.
More positive and more encouragement to the other. Yeah.
Encouragement to each other. What else?
You're honest with your feelings and you're honest with your answers.
Right. And
The
that
ability-
also that builds trust. What else?
Agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
Yes. And being respectful of others' opinions.
Respectful. That's part of the Toastmasters way, right? Respect, integrity. What are the other two?
Effective listening.
Yep. Because if you have a team where everybody thinks alike, is that good or bad? Or neither? Who's got an opinion?
That would be bad if everybody thinks alike, because if everybody thinks alike, then you have no progress. You have to have people that think outside the box or think on both sides of that box.
Yep. I will share with you that my mentor is Stan C. He's a past district director. We see the world in completely opposite ways. That has been great for having a mentor-mentee relationship, because he brings things up that I would have never thought of. And same thing with me talking to him. So you don't have to be identical twins to have a mentor relationship or to be part of the same team. In fact, it's better when you have diversity, because then you can collaborate and find solutions that are better than if one person came up with the answers on their own. So that's really important. Good job. Everybody give yourself an A+ for that. So I'm going to share a little bit. I don't know how many of you know, or some of you do, that my marketing team last year, we chose the flamingo as our team mascot. And that flamingo has stuck with us even to this year. And so this is how you motivate a team, flamingo style. First off, you gotta make it fun. If you can ask Betty Puckett, if it ain't fun, she don't do it, because life is too short not to be having fun. So make sure whatever you're doing as a team, find a way, especially if you're the leader, find a way to make it fun for your group. Set clear goals. That's one of the things that causes a lot of problems on a team. If people are thinking one way, this is what our goals are, and then suddenly you find out one of the team members has a completely different idea that was never expressed because you guys didn't talk about it and talk things through, that can cause a lot of problems. I also have a reputation for stretching people. I like to find out what they're good at and then push them a little bit further, because that's when you really get the benefit out of whatever experience you're going through. They might be a little bit nervous about it at first, but afterwards they always tell me, I'm glad you pushed me into doing this. So it's kind of a technique you have to use to get people to do it. But my side business is as a hypnotist, so I think I have pretty good persuasive abilities. Somebody mentioned this right off the bat: communicate, and communicate often and well. There's no such thing as too much communication on a team. Now, when a team gets to be really comfortable with each other, A lot of times they don't even have to have verbal communication because they already know what the other one's thinking. That's great, but that doesn't happen all the time. One of the other big points that I think makes a great team and a strong team, you have to show people what's in it for me. What you want out of the experience is not necessarily what they want. And that takes listening to them, asking them, what is it that they want? Recognize and reward often. So the Flamingo team, we give each other a lot of flamingo gifts. I have flamingo keychains, flamingo t-shirts, flamingo socks, I don't know, all kinds of stuff, flamingo. Whatever works for your team, find ways to recognize people and let them see that you think they're special. And I think probably the most important after having fun is lead by example. A team is not going to follow you if they don't think you're willing to put forth the effort yourself. So that's very important. Anybody got any questions or comments on this page? If you do at least half of these, you'll have a good team. If you do them all, you'll have a fantastic team. Excellent. Okay, just really briefly, this is something that is in your club success plan. We also do it at the district level. It's called a team agreement. And this is where you actually sit down and put everything in writing. You're formalizing how you're going to do things as a team. Can anybody tell me why that might be important? Putting things in writing, how you're going to do things, like who's on the team, what the values are.
It creates accountability.
It creates accountability, absolutely. What else does it do besides accountability?
Gives you something to go back to remind yourselves what your goal is.
Right.
lot of
Written
times-
dreams are more achievable.
Right. If they're written down, they're more achievable.
A lot of times the act of writing something down clarifies how you think about it.
That's right. And that's super important. Remember, I mentioned earlier, you have an idea, you think you know what the goals of the team are, and then suddenly you find out this person over here had a completely different idea. That happens more often than you think it does. But if you write it down and you talk about it, you're going to be less likely to have problems. That's why it's important to have a realistic job preview. And to when I was club growth director last year, my chairs asked me, can you give me a job description? What do you want me to do? So I sat down and clearly enumerated what their jobs were going to be. That keeps people from butting into each other or from failing because they didn't do what you expected they were going to do. It also gives them a sense of accomplishment when they accomplish those things. So writing it down is very important. Look over here on the right side where it's talking about interactions. What are some potential obstacles and hurdles? Why would that be important for a team to discuss? A Toastmasters club. Why would you need to be concerned about that? What are some of the obstacles we had this past year?
You need to know how to conquer those obstacles.
Who was prepared for COVID and to do online meetings? How many? Do your thumbs up if you were already prepared to do online meetings. We were in my club, in my corporate club, because we've been doing online meetings ever since I've worked at Medtronic. Now we switched. It's funny. We did WebEx forever. As soon as COVID hit and the salespeople out in the field had to start doing online meetings, guess what? We switched to Zoom practically overnight. And we're talking about a company with 85,000 employees. So it's keep it simple, stupid, right? What else is important in the interaction section? What question stands out to you?
Resolving conflict.
Resolving conflict. There's different ways to do it. You could flip a coin. Whoever gets heads wins. There's lots of different ways. It could be democratic. It could be whatever the president decides. You know, it's up to the team to make that decision. So the more you can get ironed out ahead of time, the better. And always keep those values in mind that come from TI: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Now, the operating principles for the club do not have to match exactly with the operating principles of TI. You may have additional ones. You remember on the Flamingo motivation, the first one for us was making it fun. That's not anywhere in the Toastmasters guidelines. That's just what we believe. So think about what you want to accomplish as a team. Sit down with your team, your officers, get it in writing, and you have a guideline to go by. It's the club success plan. How many people on this call have done a club success plan with their team in their club? All right, way to go, Art. I'm looking through. Excellent. It makes a big difference. There's Miss Betty Puckett again. She's everywhere. So this is some of the things that you should be asking yourself. This is a page out of the club success plan. We've talked about some of this already, but how are the officers going to communicate with each other? How will they make sure that they equitably share the work amongst themselves? How are they going to support each other? Those are all things that you should hammer out with yourselves, okay? I'm going through quickly so we can get to the fun part, the game, because fun is number one on my list. So think about this. If you want to take a screenshot, great. But when you leave here tonight, take a moment sometime in the next week and think about the moments of truth and how you're going to use them to motivate your team, your club officers, and your whole club. Look at the ways that you can do that, and you'll see a big improvement in all aspects of your club. And then, of course, some of you know this really well. To keep the team moving forward, you need to create SMART goals. And most people know what SMART goals stands for, so we're not going to go back through it. But when you write a goal for your club, it needs to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and in a time frame that makes sense for the club. Any questions about SMART goals? Most people have been through this training before, unless you're brand new. Okay, we're not going to go through the review because we're going to do the game as our review, but these are some of the questions that you may expect to see in the game. I'm going to give you a minute to look at them. Anybody have any questions about any of these or comments? Is somebody getting ready to talk or just clearing their throat?
We're good.
Okay, now, before we go into the game, this is a shameless plug. We have a special event coming up, and Bart Lozier is going to be managing it. It came up because we had some members talking about it, and I thought, well, we've got a good opportunity to to do a class on this in Training Tuesday. So on February 23rd, 8:30 p.m., we're going to have a special panel event on avoiding burnout. Some of us have been through it before. We'll share our stories, but we'll also share some tips about how you can avoid going through burnout. And that's all I have to say on the topic. If you want to know more, please attend the event. You'll have a lot of fun. Okay, we are done with, I'm trying to stop sharing. We are done with the presentation part, drum roll. And now it's time for the game. And I want to share, Jason, you already have the list of the clubs that were at the top of the list, right?
I think I can find it.
I have it right here if you need me to remind you. So
well, go ahead and remind me, and then we'll meet our first contestants.
Okay, and you want 4, right?
4 would be great.
So we're going to play Jeopardy, and your club can play if you want to, but first dibs goes to the clubs that have the most club officers here tonight. So those people, those clubs are the one and only Ostentatious. Would you guys like to play? Miriam? Where's our Ostentatious people? Going once.
What?
Would you like to
I
play?
see a couple.
Would you like to play Jeopardy?
What do you want to play with?
Would anybody from your Ostentatious club like to play Jeopardy?
Today?
Tonight for prizes.
Sure. Okay.
$5,000.
Okay.
Who's going to be your spokesperson? You guys need to decide.
Desi.
That's what I thought.
Desi.
Okay, next up is Georgetown. Do we have Georgetown in the house? Would you guys like to play?
No.
Yeah, we'll play.
Jackie Hunt, are you going to be the spokesperson for your team?
I don't know. I'm pretty terrible at Jeopardy. I'd like one of the other people to maybe.
So you guys decide who's going to be the spokesperson for Georgetown.
Victoria, are you there?
Yes, I'll do it.
Okay, we got her.
Okay. So Georgetown was Victoria. Victoria, what's your last name?
Pilsner, P is in Peter, like the beer.
Pilsner, okay. And Ostentatious was Desi Mora, Jason.
Got it.
Okay, next up, Slick Talkers. Ava, do you guys want to play?
I didn't play.
And that's a positive yes.
Okay, who's the spokesperson for Slick Talkers?
Bobby, are you there?
I'm here.
You want to
Oh,
be
yeah.
our spokesperson?
I will do my best.
Thank you.
Bobby, remind me your last name again.
Duran.
I knew it. I just couldn't remember. Okay, and the next one on my list is San Marcos. Is San Marcos in the house?
Yep, we're here.
Do you guys want to play?
We're here, sure.
Yeah.
Go play.
Who's going to be the spokesperson?
I nominate Art to be our spokesperson.
There you go, Art.
I
agree.
For your confidence.
Okay, and then if we get enough time to get on the next round, because we can't play with more than 4, right? You got it
If you
set
want,
up.
we can try more than 4. That's fine.
Well, it's because I used up so much time.
Right.
I've got Oracle and Pearson's that have. I don't want to mess up the game though.
Really mess it up.
Well, maybe we should stick with 4 then, huh?
Okay, let's stick with 4 then.
Okay, are you going to explain the game?
Absolutely. So this is your basic Jeopardy game. I'm sure you've seen it all on TV. Except in this case, I will ask the question and then you can give me the answer. So it's a little bit easier than me just having to read the answer and you guessing my question. There are a few true and false in there. They'll be labeled true or false. And if you get the answer right, you keep control of the board and you get the points. First person to buzz in after the question's read, or the first person that chimes in as best we can here over Zoom, gets to answer the question first. All right. Okay, so let's get into today's categories. Here we go. In today's categories, we have mission and values, moments of truth, club success plan, DCP, member achievement, and motivating teams. All right, Ostentatious, since you were our first contestant, pick a number on the board. Desi, what are we going for? I don't hear anything.
Which category and number do you want, Desi?
Okay, let me fix a bit the voice.
We need the Jeopardy music.
Now I lost my screen.
We want 100 for motivating teams.
100 for motivating teams. Oh, my stuff didn't carry over for some reason.
The board.
Motivating teams. Okay, give me just a moment here.
The following.
Okay, someone's got an interesting.
Mike.
Turn everything off on both. You still
There you go. Okay.
Reporting from the kitchen.
Sorry, give me just a second, guys. It's
Okay.
So we have one computer,
You're next.
one person.
Well, but not yes, but sorry.
okay. So it was motivating teams for 100.
Yes.
All right. Hopefully I got the right one this time. What is a team agreement?
Anybody from Ostentatious want to respond?
What is a team?
What is a team agreement?
Can you get it together?
Well,
Uh-oh.
a team agreement is like a commitment, a plan where you create accountability for the goals that the
Amy, what club are you from?
club wants to achieve.
That's from
Yeah, that's Ostentatious. That's good.
Good, Noemi.
Right. It's a document that
Thank
shows
you.
how the team will work together and accomplish its goals.
Oh yeah, I'm happy. Yeah.
Okay.
Goals.
So what's our next category? Mission and
Do we
values.
choose again?
Yep. You're
Oh,
winning.
okay.
Yep.
Well, 200 for motivating teams.
Okay. Why is it important to have a plan for resolving conflict in the team agreement?
In order to get buy-in,
That's good.
in order to manage conflict,
So team members know how to proceed. Okay. Well, you're on a roll here, Ostentatious. So what's
Hey.
next?
Which one do you want?
Well, high numbers.
500 for motivating teams.
Ooh, going for the big one now.
Who is responsible for a
Is that
team?
the right one? Did I click on the right one? Let me. Who is responsible?
Everybody
for
in the
retaining
club is
members?
responsible.
Yep. No.
I'm sorry?
Everyone in the club is responsible for retaining members.
Okay, yes, that's
That was
absolutely right, Victoria.
Georgetown.
That was Georgetown.
Stole from us.
It's not.
All
one
right,
per
so
person.
Georgetown stole it away. Where are we going next?
Category 3 for 500.
Okay, category 3 is a club success plan. I thought it carried over from when I typed it in, but apparently it didn't. So, true or false? All clubs must follow Robert's Rules of Order.
False.
False.
Ooh, Art coming with the false.
You guys are getting wild now.
And that's correct. The answer is false. And
And
Art,
that's
which
San
club are you
Marcos.
from?
San
Marcos.
You're San Marcos.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so San Marcos steals it away. All right, Art, where are we going from here? Let me go ahead and bring this back up.
How about the same one for 200?
So, club success plan for 200. What are the 3 levels of club success?
Achievement.
Somebody help me.
Achievement is one of them.
Membership, achievement, and advancement. Well, no, it's the same thing. Recognition.
Somebody can steal the 3 levels of club success.
Sorry, ostentatious, that's not right. Georgetown, slick talkers.
Bobby, got an answer? The 3 levels of club success? You guys are gonna go, when you
I don't have a correct answer.
Oh, that's a
You
good
don't?
point. Okay, time's up. The 3 levels of club success: distinguished, select distinguished, and president's distinguished.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Art, back to you. San Marcos, where are we going?
Well, let's go for 300 in the same category.
300 in club success plan.
Yep, let's do that.
True or false? Obstacles are the same in every club.
False.
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 Bobby
from
got
Slick
that one.
Talkers. You are correct. All right, Bobby, where are we going from here? I'll read the categories again. Category 1 is mission and values. Category 2 is moments of truth. Category 3 is club success plan. Number 4 is DCP. 5 is member achievement, and 6 is motivating teams.
Let's do DCP, Bobby.
All right, go for it, Eva. I'm tagging you in.
Okay, DCP for how much?
Let's do 500.
Yeah.
500,
right.
take the big ones
Big.
off the board. True or false? In order to receive a DCP point, clubs that elect officers on a semi-annual basis must submit their officer list to TI once a year.
False.
False.
False. Twice a year.
Twice a year, right?
All right, Judge, who got it and where did it
I
go?
thought Eva said it first. Did she or did she not?
Well, the
I think
the
so.
correct answer is false.
Right,
Because
it's
for
false.
semi-annual officers, it must be
That's-
submitted twice a year.
Right.
And I had heard
That's-
several falses out there.
And that's what you said, right, Ava?
Right.
Okay.
As far as I could tell, she was first, but I don't know.
Very good.
That's your final answer.
All right, Ava.
That's my final answer.
Ava,
Category-
Bobby, where are we going?
Category 1 for 400.
Category 1, missions and values for what? 100?
400.
400, I'm sorry.
That's all right. You're right.
Well, I'll put it on 400. It's fine. True or false? Everything a club does should be centered around its mission statement.
True.
True.
Absolutely.
True.
So I'm sorry, who got that? Because I'm busy running the board.
I did. I said true.
Okay, and Harvey, which club are you from?
San Marcos.
San Marcos 8524.
Okay. All right, we got time for about 2 or 3 more questions. So San Marcos, take us home. Where are we going?
I say let's go to category 6 for $400.
Category 6 for $400. That's motivating teams. A good way to motivate a team is by
Recognition.
a lot of other answers that Kathy gave, but recognition was one of the answers. Kathy, who got that one?
I think
that was Bobby. Slick talkers.
everybody's jumping in, so it's hard for me to tell.
Well, this is why.
And that's good.
Yes, it's good, and we're getting the answers right too. So
Yep.
that's the most important part.
So it's slick talkers.
All right, slick talkers. Final question. Let's take it home.
Mission. Let's go back to category 1, mission for 500.
Mission and values for 500. True or false? A club's core values must match exactly with Toastmasters International.
False.
True.
Oh,
True.
that was Harvey
True.
on that one.
Who was it?
Harvey got it with false.
Man,
False.
It's false. Right?
Because the club mission statement should match with the club mission, not necessarily with the mission of Toastmasters.
True.
All right, well, it's 9 o'clock now. If we were to total the points up, San Marcos is ahead by 100 over Slick Talkers.
All right, San Marcos.
So congratulations, San Marcos.
Good.
But I am glad Kathy took a little bit of extra time to make sure we all understood moments of truth and how to apply it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hate that we ran out of time, but because I did that, every club that competed will get valuable TI prizes.
Good.
But
Thank you.
number 1 and number 2 are gonna get more stuff, okay?
Ooh, more.
That was the quickest round of Jeopardy we ever played, Jason.
Well, we got through several questions. I mean, we got through 40% of the, almost 40%
Thanks to
of the
Harvey.
board. So that was good.
Good.
And we know my file needs to be tweaked again because it didn't work like it was supposed to.
So if anybody wants to play Jeopardy in your club, Jason's got the file. Just let him know. And
Yeah, we'll be happy to send it to you.
Oh, good.
And it's a really easy PowerPoint. It's fill in the blanks.
I think you need to send it to Nick Hoover so we can do it.
Just send me the email address. I'll get it there.
if you want a chance at playing again, we're going to be doing the match game at the last chance on the 28th. And next week,
how about Wednesday? Coming Wednesday?
no, we don't have games again. We have role breakouts, officer breakouts.
It's tough to do games. It's tough to do a giant Jeopardy game in officer breakouts.
That's
It's
right.
those darn
Because you're all
treasures
going to
that
be
get
in
in the way.
different rooms.
Okay, gotcha.
But next week, Kyle Mitchell will be running Cahoots. And that was a lot of fun at the last TLI when we did it. Jason gets off the hook when we do Cahoots because he hasn't played it before. So what did everybody think? Do you think it'd be cool to have games in your club meetings?
I would think so.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, check
This
out
was fun.
that video on exciting programming, and you'll see lots of different ideas to add some games to your meetings. Okay, guys, you've been a great audience. And if you still need more hours, be sure to show up on Wednesday for the officer breakouts.
Right.
Thanks for coming, everybody. We enjoyed it. I'm glad you were able to get in, Harvey.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, Kathy. Thank you so much.
Good
job, everybody. Good job, Kathy.
Thanks.
Thanks, Miriam. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Bye, Noemi. Bye,
Bye
Sonia.
bye, Vivian.
Thanks.
Bye. See you Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Thursday. Oh,
Wednesday. Wednesday.
Wednesday, right?
You can
Wednesday.
turn the recording off too.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Bye-bye.